ever wondered if there was something just more than medication to reach some goals, like inflammation? I see that a lot, patients in pain, or another big one is weight loss. They want to lose weight. And not everybody wants to be or needs to be on medication. Is there something else out there that can be utilized that is a secret, or not even a secret, a powerful weapon that we can use to reach some of these goals? And I would have to say the answer is yes.
Amen.
And we have the perfect lady today, who I call friend.
Thank you.
That's going to help us expand and to broaden our knowledge on other things we can use to reach some of these goals that we have. Her name is Sakinah Bunch.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's a
Yes.
pleasure.
She is the owner and CEO of Clean Good Eats, that's in Radcliff, Kentucky. If you haven't gone, please do. And she integrative nutritional coach, and she also dwells in and goes so in depth in the art of cooking. It is definitely an art. So I'm so excited that she's here. So Sakinah,
Yes.
I would love for you to tell us a story of how Clean Good Eats has arrived and the process
I'll give you
behind
the
it.
short version of that. Okay, so it started because my daughter was allergic to everything but 4 foods. She could have turkey, bison, iceberg lettuce, and cucumbers for 10 months. That's all she could eat. I didn't know how to cook. My husband then came up with this chromosome deficiency called G6PD, where he couldn't have any type of a legume because it would bring on the symptoms of anemia, and it was almost like he had early Alzheimer's. So I didn't know how to cook, had to learn how to cook. Then I found out that there were other people just like us that were going through this. And so I said, well, you know what? Maybe not just learn it for myself, not just learn it for my daughter, but learn it for other people too. So we had a friend whose daughter could only, would only eat bananas. She would have like 9 bananas a day.
Wow.
And it's like, that's 18 shots in the arm of sugar. And this girl was bouncing.
Because bananas are pretty high in sugar, aren't they?
And she was bouncing all off the wall. And I said to her mom, I want you to come to my house and I'm going to teach you how to feed your daughter. Don't bring your daughter to my house. I said, you can bring all 4 of your boys. But the daughter was just all over the place. So she comes and we're going to make spinach pizza. Spinach pizza is very green. Yes. So the mom looks at it and she's like, I don't want that. And I said, well, that's what's going on with your daughter. She sees your control over food and she wants to do the same. So I said, I want you to go home and make this with her. She went home, she made it with her. Not only did she eat 1, not only did she eat 2, but she had 3. And so she calls me back and she's like, oh my goodness, she ate 3 of those. Yeah, she did. And I said, that's awesome. And she says, I would have paid you to do that. And I was like, oh, wow. You would? Wow. And that's really how Clean Good Eats came to be.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And how many years now has Clean Good Eats been in existence?
So brick and mortar, we've been there for 3 years, but we've been around for a hot minute. To give you the exact year, I don't know, but we've been around for a hot minute. Yeah.
I'm going to ask, what has been your greatest blessing with Clean Good Eats thus far?
Seeing the transformation in people.
Yes.
I get a lot of people who come to me, and so I'll give you a prime example. My first client, she came to me and she was morbidly obese. And she says to me, because we're faith-based, and she says, I don't want to know about your Jesus. I just want you to help me. And I was like, okay, but just understand that you can't stop me from praying for you, So I'm going to do that.
Right.
But we worked together. She was eating out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we worked on just 1 meal a day. Let's just have a home-cooked 1 meal a day. And that turned into 2 meals a day. And she started shedding the weight. She goes to the optometrist.
Wow.
The optometrist says to her, as he's looking in her eye, you need to go to the hospital. And she's like, okay, I'll go on Monday. Because I guess it was a Friday evening or Saturday or whatever. And the optometrist says, either you're going because you're driving or you're going because I'm calling an ambulance. But you need to go to the ER. She goes to the ER. They look in her eye, and she has a massive tumor.
Wow.
On her optic nerve. And she was thinking it was just, she just needed new eyeglasses.
Right.
No, she was going blind.
Whoa.
But they couldn't see it before because of all the weight. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So they told her, you know, she might not ever really be able to travel like she used to again. And she calls me and she says, hey, guess where I am? I'm like, where? I'm walking the Great Wall of China. Wow. And I mean, those are the types of things that would make you do this even if nobody paid you to do it.
I agree. It's those instances, those testimonies that make you keep going back to work over and over again.
Yes.
I agree. You know, it's like one person's, you know, their life has changed.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that she didn't have to start over with her diet. Because a lot of people think in order to eat healthy, they have to start over, and it's so expensive.
Right. No. Well, look, I tell my clients, you're going to pay for it on one way, on one side or the other. Either you're going to pay for it on the front end and then you get to enjoy life on the back end. You know, you get to run around with your grandkids, do all the things.
Yes.
Or you're going to pay for it on the back end and you're going to be bedridden. You know, you're going to need surgeries, and it's going to be much more expensive on the back end than it is on the front end.
Yes. Okay. So, and I see this a lot in the clinic. You know, of course, you mentioned weight with that patient, and I do see a lot of patients, they are on GLP-1 medications, which I actually think there's a lot of good reasons behind it. I mean, they helps with fatty liver and, you know, diabetes and so forth. But I just don't think it's that it goes, it stops there.
Yeah.
And I think that is the big hiccup is sometimes they rely only on the GLP-1, but their diet is unchanged.
Yeah.
So those particular patients, and I have several patients on GLP-1, some without them, they just want to lose weight. What could be something that they can actually include or make as part of a regimen for themselves to help with weight loss?
So I tell my clients 2 things are very important when you're talking about weight loss. Are you hydrated? Because your body will hold on to all sorts of things when you're not hydrated.
Wow.
And then 2, what's your stress level? Because again, especially for women over the age of 40, the moment that stress hits, it hits our body in different places than it did when we were in our 20s, right? So what is your stress level? Because if your stress level is high, now you're talking maybe your thyroid's going to start getting involved, right? And your thyroid is definitely in charge of your metabolism.
Very much so.
Very much so. So these are some of the things that you really want to factor in. But once you can start handling the water and the stress, then you can probably start handling sleep. Because when do we lose weight? When we sleep. Right? We're just breathing it out. Just breathing it out.
That is
so
huge.
Those are the 3 things that I would definitely say to work on.
That is huge. I love that. So let's break it down then. Water.
We had this conversation before, didn't we? Yes.
Okay. So they ask, well, how much water is good for me? Dr. Watson, how much water should I have per day? And does it matter the type of water?
Yes, it does.
What would you tell them?
So, this is a loaded question, honestly. But to keep it simple, I would say filtered water at minimum, right? If you can get it in glass, get it in glass. I love the Sarasota water because it's in a dark glass bottle, right? The denaturing of the minerals that may be in it is going to be less than, say, if it was in a regular plastic clear bottle. With plastic bottles, you don't know where they've been before they actually get to the grocery store. So a lot of that, the sun can be hitting it. You know, in that plastic, there are forever chemicals.
You don't even think about that, right?
No.
You just grab in a plastic bottle. It's just
especially
convenient,
if it's cold, right?
Yes.
It's always been cold. No, they just put it in the fridge, right? But forever chemicals in there, which will leach into the water, which can affect your thyroid. It can affect so many other areas. So at our studio, we use Clearly Filtered. That is a wonderful brand. We also use the Berkey brand, say that 3 times fast.
Yes.
I like the Clearly Filtered a little bit better because when you drink out of it, I don't know if you've seen the commercials, but they had it where, you remember how you had Kool-Aid when you were younger? Okay. Well, they did a test with Kool-Aid, and they poured Kool-Aid in there, and it came out as water.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a strong filter.
And this is called Clearly Filtered.
Clearly Filtered.
Okay.
Yes.
I need to purchase one myself too.
Yeah.
And I've been
And Clearly
recommending
Filtered,
this.
if you're out there watching this, I do not mind royalties. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Yeah.
And water is important. I mean, it's great for detoxing. And we're made mostly of water.
Absolutely.
What, 60 to 70% of water. So we really need hydration.
Yeah.
And I think that so important because metabolism, I'm sure helps with that too. Water.
And blood pressure.
And blood pressure. And blood pressure. Okay, so for instance, they have the water. And then next step is, you mentioned something about hormones. Because I know that is a big, that can actually limit or, impede patients' progress in their weight is their hormones.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we think about thyroid, there are other hormones involved too. So speaking of hormones, I know I always try to check the hormones levels because I actually want to see what they're doing and if they need to be corrected. But how can food affect hormones?
Oh my goodness. So if you're eating anything out of a package, it's going to affect your hormones, right? Because a lot of those are just chemicals. And they really haven't studied the long range effects of those chemicals. So when you're eating out of a package, remember again, that's plastic, just like the plastic water, heat it up, it just gets transferred. Same thing with some cans, if you're eating a lot of canned food, right? So these are some of the things that you really want to keep focus on. My rule of thumb, if you can get it fresh from the farmer's market, because we know the cyclospora and all the other stuff that's going around, right? If you can get it fresh from the farmer's market, that's going to be your best bet. Know your grower. Know them. Because not all farms are alike. So every Saturday and Wednesday, there's a farmer's market in Hardin County.
Wow.
Get to know your farmers because those are going to be your lifelines in the coming years. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So I can already hear them right now. No disrespect, because hey, people are busy, right?
Yeah.
And they're just on such a time crunch.
Absolutely.
Just with their day-to-day, right? What other options are there available if they can't make it to the farmer's market?
So know how to shop. If you're going to go to the grocery store, don't you edit that out. You shop the perimeter.
Yes.
Right? When you go down those aisles are paid for. And what I mean by that is the manufacturers pay for placement on those aisles. If it's on an end cap, just know they paid big time dollars.
What do you mean by end cap?
Meaning like when you go down the aisle, before you go down the aisle, there's like the end of the aisle.
Yes, the end of the aisle.
And then they have like little things on them. Yeah, they paid big bucks to be
I
on
did
the
not
end
know
of
that. Okay.
And if you see anything low by like a kid's level, they pay big bucks to be there too. So always shop the perimeter. That's going to be your produce, your meat, even your dairy. That'll be on the perimeter of the store.
So shop the perimeter first and then go on the inside. Okay.
Yeah.
More process, right?
Yeah. If you can avoid those aisles, avoid the aisles altogether, because honestly, the supermarket is not there for our benefit. They are a for-profit entity.
Wow.
So they're going to the highest bidder. And whatever they can get out of you is what they desire to get out of you.
So stick with produce, right?
Yes.
Meat.
Produce, fruit.
And fruits, so forth. Okay. Yeah. So speaking of the thyroid, what food group is best for instance, to enhance or, function of your thyroid?
Well, you know what? There are quite a few, but I'm going to talk about the ones that are not good for your thyroid. Okay? And it's because that's what a lot of my clients, when they come in, they talk about, oh, well, I love this type of food and this type of food. And I'm like, stay away from it because it's going to give you a goiter.
Yes.
Spinach. These are all the ones that sound good, right?
Yes.
That we've been told are healthy for us. Brussels sprouts, broccoli, any of the cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, they're good for your thyroid. But if you're dealing with things like hypothyroidism, you can still eat those foods, but limit what you take in and make sure they're cooked. Because the more it's cooked, the less oxalates will be in them.
Okay. Wow. And so, because you're right, because, those are healthy, right? And, we strive to eat more and more of those. But if you have hypothyroidism, the amount does matter.
It sure does. Now, we can talk about the good stuff.
Yes, let's do the good stuff.
Sea kelp, like any type of seaweed, that's good because it's got iodine. That's what feeds your thyroid. When we have the plastic water bottles and the plastic bags and the the cans that are not BPA free and have all this other stuff in them, that hooks onto the same receptors as your iodine in your thyroid. So when you're drinking, when you're consuming these things, now all those little receptors that would take in the iodine and nourish your thyroid, it's blocked. It's like trying to go down a road,
Right.
and there's a big detour you can't go down, right?
Wow.
So we want the kelp. We want to stay away from those estrogen foods that are what they call xenoestrogens or fake estrogen foods, and go for more of the iodine and copper efficient foods.
I love that. That is so good. Talk about food for thought. That is wonderful. I wonder, patients who are on a weight loss journey, is there any food you can think of right away that would be one of the biggest offenders to losing weight?
Yep.
What is that?
Sugar. Sugar, 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 sugar.
Yeah.
We are addicted to sugar in
are.
this country. We are
Yes.
so addicted to sugar. And the thing is, we think sugar is the pastry, right? Yeah, sugar is the pastry, but it's also the pasta. It's also the bread. It's also the rice. Like, sugar in this country is an epidemic. I used to work in a lab, and we had this running joke, you know, how Lay's would say, I bet you can't eat just one, right? And it was true.
Yes.
Because they formulated it so that you could not eat just one.
And you really can't eat just one.
You can't. And if you notice, more and more foods are like that now. You know, where you find yourself, oh, I'm just going to have one Oreo. And then, like, the whole bag of Oreos.
The whole sleeve is gone.
It's just gone. So, yeah, sugar is definitely the biggest culprit.
Wow. Yes.
Right after sugar, I would say dairy.
Oh, and that's not something we think about often. Okay, well, we're going to break those up too, because these are very important topics. Okay, sugar. Well, you know, and I speak about that a lot in my office, because I know it causes prediabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, and weight gain. Are all sugars equal, though?
So it all depends. All depends on which organs we're talking about, right?
Yes.
When we take in sugar, it really doesn't matter which sugar it is, right? Our liver is going to convert that sugar that we don't use, right? We don't burn it off. It's going to convert it into fat for us to use later on. Now, our bodies were designed that way because we used to live in fight or flight. And we never knew when we were going to have to run from something and not know where we were getting our next meal from. So that's why it would hold on to that so that we could use it later. The problem is our bodies are in constant fight or flight.
Yeah.
Even though the danger is not a lion or a bear about to eat us, it might be that creditor saying, well, you know, you owe me money today, you know. But the body doesn't understand the difference between that type of stress.
It just knows it's stress.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And so it's holding on to it. Cortisol is spiking, right? And here we are with all of the issues that we have.
Wow. So breaking down sugar, I know there's like natural sugar too, like, and apples and oranges. What do you think about fruits?
So here's the difference, right?
Okay.
If you just say you get date sugar, right? That sounds good, right?
Like dates. Okay.
Yeah. Sugar from dates. But you just get the sugar from the date, right? As opposed to eating a date. Big difference. The difference is the date has fiber. Fiber helps to control the sugar.
Yes.
But when you're just using the date sugar, there's no fiber, and so it can run amok wherever it wants.
And they're still running the sugars up, which doesn't help really with the weight loss journey, right? Because you need fiber. Fiber's a big...
Absolutely need fiber,
Yes, fiber. Okay, and that's why fruits are so important, because they have natural containing...
And vegetables too. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, Thanksgiving and Christmas, those are my eating holidays, okay? And my grandmother would make the best sweet potatoes.
Yes.
Sweet potato pie, just the best. But she would peel them. And when you peel a potato, you take away the fiber. And you just have the sugar. So when we prepare it now, you know, when you know better, you do better, right? When we prepare it now, we keep the fiber intact.
Yes.
Same thing with apples and we don't peel them.
Don't peel. Okay. Yes, I remember my mom used to peel my apple. Well, you know, Probably for choking reasons.
Right.
I'm an adult now.
Right.
I should be able to swallow an apple, okay? So keep the peeling on.
Yeah, keep the peeling on.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there are other caveats to that, but when you're going from, you know, going to your farmer,
Yeah.
trust that, and then, yeah, keep the peels on.
You mentioned something, this was like a couple years ago, about the banana. And I thought that was so fascinating because, you know, I'm always going to eat, if I peel a banana, I'm eating the whole thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I mean, why save it?
Right.
So what was it about the banana you told me about?
What was it about?
It was like
the
a half,
peel?
yeah, the half.
Oh, the half. Yeah, so half a banana is a serving of a banana.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody who just eats half of a banana.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
Yeah, but it's half of a banana.
So I guess if we really want to be careful, we'll eat half of the banana, right? Okay. And it's okay to throw the other half away.
Or you can just go get the tiny ones.
Get the
Get
smaller
the tiny
bananas.
ones and make your brain feel like, you know, you're doing something. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. Okay. Going back to this weight loss journey. So you mentioned dairy.
Yeah.
How does that affect the weight loss journey?
Okay, so let me say this so I don't get myself in trouble. Dairy, okay, think about it this way. The milk from a cow is designed to be nutrient dense for a calf. A calf can grow hundreds of pounds, right? Because that's what it's designed to do. Just like human milk is designed for human babies. All of the nutrients that we need are in that milk. So I'm not saying that everybody needs to cut dairy out completely, but if you're trying to lose weight, that's not going to help your situation. Wow. We were doing a smoothie cleanse. Well, it wasn't a smoothie cleanse, it was a smoothie challenge, right? And all we were taking in were smoothies. And I had this lady, she says, I'm not losing any weight on this smoothie challenge. And I said, well, what are you putting in there? She's like, I'm doing exactly what you tell me to do. I'm putting in the almond butter, I'm putting in and I'm putting in the milk. I'm like, whoa. I never said anything about milk. Well, it doesn't taste good with the water, so I just put the milk. Well, that's why you're not losing any weight. So, yeah.
She made the substitution.
She sure did.
And I'm laughing because my husband, he made a smoothie. This was just last week. And I promise you, I had this smoothie. Now, to my husband, it tasted amazing. Okay, there was peanut butter.
Put that caveat in there. It was great.
There was protein, peanut butter. There was just all kind of things. It was a little bit of banana, but then there was milk. And I tell you, I feel like I was too much pregnant. And I thought about it. I said, was it the peanut butter? Was it the protein? Right. And I got to thinking, I'm like, well, no, it has to be something, the dairy. Yeah.
And it will bloat you too. And a lot of people can't digest the enzymes.
Yeah, the digestion part, yes. And lactose
it's a sugar. Yep.
Yes.
Anything generally ending in ose is going to be a sugar. Yeah. Lactose, maltose, sucrose.
Sugar. That leads me to a really good next question for you. How do people read labels? You know, you go in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so how do we read a label appropriate, especially if we're on a weight loss journey?
Absolutely. The first thing I tell people is don't look at the nutrition facts, right? Because those are just niceties. They may or may not be in there, right? You want to look at the label of what's in there. Whatever that first ingredient is, that's what's in there the most. Okay. We do a game. It's called Name That Food-Like Substance. And we had one. The first ingredient was 42.6% corn syrup solids. That was the first ingredient. Can you imagine what that was?
Yes.
Can you imagine? I'll tell you what it was. It was baby food.
Baby food?
Yes.
Wow.
Baby food.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. So reading labels is very important, you know, and I tell people food really makes a difference.
It does.
You have babies that are 6 months old that are overweight. It's not that they didn't exercise enough. You know what I mean? So we have to really be careful about what we're putting into our bodies because our bodies will respond accordingly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you mentioned fiber. So on a label, you know, there's going to be some carbs in most foods. Right. So how do we determine what food group then, if it has carbs in it, which one should we grab? Which one should we keep on the at the grocery store? Yes.
So I always say if it has a food label on it, it's telling a story, right? Whether good or bad, it's telling a story. If you shop the perimeter, you get those foods that are higher in fiber, right? So anything like an apple, pears, those are going to be higher in fiber, right? Your sweet potatoes, those are going to be higher in fiber. When even your leafy vegetables, those are going to be good for you as well because it's roughage. You want things that are going to keep you full. If you're going down an aisle, things like oatmeal, chia seed, flaxseed. Flaxseed is really good for the thyroid, right? So these are things that you want to migrate toward because they're going to make you feel fuller. And there are two types of fiber, right? So there's soluble fiber, and then there's insoluble fiber. And most people don't really know the difference between the two. So soluble fiber is anything that you can see is going to puff up, right? So oatmeal, chia seed, all of those are going to puff up when you put water to them.
Okay.
That's what makes you feel full. The insoluble fiber, that's the one that feeds your gut, right? So you can't break that down. That's not being broken down. That's food for your gut bacteria.
Gut. Okay. Okay.
And both are necessary.
Both are necessary, just in the right quantity,
Yes.
right? Okay. Awesome. That probably would then make a difference with inflammation, because I know
Absolutely.
that is another big subject in the office. I have a lot of patients that struggle with inflammation and pain. And, you know, I actually just sometimes don't like to give another pill.
Yeah.
I would rather not, you know, because they're already on NSAIDs, or, you know, if they're already on some degree of a pain medicine as needed. But are there any alternatives for a patient that deals with inflammation or chronic pain?
Yeah. Natural spices. The main two that I would recommend, turmeric and black pepper. Turmeric is great for inflammation, and black pepper helps the body absorb it. So if you're looking at two of those things, and if they had to take a pill, you know, take that, right? Because it comes in pill form as well, but definitely that, and get it from an organic source.
So that matters too.
It does, because if they're spraying herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, I call them all the sides, if they're spraying that on there, that's also going to cause inflammation in your body. So yeah, organic sources.
Organic sources. Is there a turmeric organic source that's your favorite?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a salt that clean good eats. We actually do have a brand that we have there, and it's not only organic, but it's fair trade. So, and you know, the vibrant color of it, I tell people when you purchase spices especially, be careful, because when it's ground, it's already starting to lose its nutrient value, right? So if you're gonna get it ground, make sure it's organic. Make sure, you know, it checks all the boxes, so this way you get the most that you can possibly get out of that.
Awesome. Turmeric. But sometimes I recommend a pill form. Sometimes, you know, you can cook with it.
Yeah.
Which one is better?
Oh, I love cooking with it.
Cooking with it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, you're asking me, that's kind of a bias. It's kind of biased. I like that.
Okay. But turmeric is great for anti-inflammatory. I didn't realize black pepper
Yeah.
is great. Now, how often do you have, is it just kind of like?
Every time.
Every time?
Every time.
Oh,
And you don't need a lot. Just need a little bit,
okay.
because it just helps to absorb it.
I love that. Okay, so that's inflammation. Are there any other favorites that are anti-inflammatory foods that help with inflammation?
Oh, goodness.
Pain.
Favorite anti-inflammatory foods. Omega-3s. Anything that's going to have an omega-3
I love
in
that.
it.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's going to help your brain. It's going to help the inflammation. Anything that's got an omega-3 in it. So the chia seed, you know, the seeds, those are the ones that generally have your omega-3s. Nuts have it, but they are also high in omega-6. Okay. And omega-6 actually causes inflammation.
Okay.
And
That's good to know.
The reason, like most people are like, well, why would I have something that causes inflammation? The body needs that too. Because if you cut yourself and it doesn't get inflamed there, then you're going to bleed out to death. So you need both.
You need both. Okay. Omega-3. Okay, so anti-inflammatories, turmeric, black pepper. I love that. And what about water again?
Yeah.
I know water is important for that also, right?
And lemon.
Lemon.
Yes, putting lemon in your water first thing in the morning, that's going to give your liver a little jolt. Livers like jolting.
And that's a good question, because I had a patient that say, well, I have reflux. I can't do lemons. So, but I've I've told them that lemons are actually very important, even for reflux. They can help with inflammation in the gut. Gut health is so important.
Even though lemons are acidic, once it enters the water and enters your body, it becomes alkaline. How that happens, I don't know. But research say, yes, that's what happens.
Wow.
So it's quite helpful for both.
That is amazing. One more topic, brain health.
Oh, yes.
Patients, they just want to, especially, 40s, 50s, 60s, of course, you have the hormones shifting and, memory's not where it used to be at 20 years old.
No.
And they don't have dementia. You know, I try to reassure patients this. Usually it isn't the case, usually. So what food groups are great for brain health?
Ooh, I love blueberries. I love walnuts. Like, that's my favorite snack, blueberries and walnuts together. And a lot of times when we're talking about inflammation on the brain, a lot of that has to do with like gluten. Gluten is a big one that will cause just that coating right over the little synapses so that it's not firing, across your brain barrier the way that it should. So you definitely want to stay away from things like gluten. I mean, I know I said sugar before, definitely sugar, but gluten is in there too. But the blueberries, the walnuts, anything dealing with omega-3.
Wow. It's a go, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, great. Because I know, if you stay up late enough, you see all of these infomercials about.
Well, that's part of the problem too. Don't stay up late.
Right, we need sleep.
Yes, go sleep.
What, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, right?
Yeah. Well, it's different for each person.
Yeah.
But definitely, I would say within that 7 to 9 hour window.
Yes. Important for brain health, for inflammation, and for a weight loss journey, right?
It is. I have this thing, it's called a body clock. Have you ever heard of the body clock?
Okay. I've heard of it.
So the body clock it shows you when each of your organs, not necessarily detox, but kind of cleans itself out a little bit.
Oh, this is cool.
Oh, it is very cool. Okay. So I have a lot of clients that would come to me and tell me, oh yeah, I wake up. I said, I bet you I can tell you the time you wake up. And they're like, no, you can't. I said, you wake up between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. How did you know that? Because between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, that's when the liver does its best work.
Wow.
And if you're not asleep, like in a good REM sleep, by that time, your liver's not doing the work that it needs to do. And poof, now you're awake.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the symptoms they exhibit if it's a liver-related issue. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Okay, what about kidneys? When are kidneys doing their job?
I want to say kidneys are like maybe 6 o'clock in the evening. I might be lying to you. But yeah, I think they're between 4 and 6 in the evening.
Because all these organs have to detox also. Wow. So food is so important. I think that sometimes we can make it so tedious and complicated to the point we just don't want to try because we've always eaten a certain way.
Yeah.
We've already adjusted our regimen because we have kids, right? And it's just easy and convenient. What is one thing you can tell each and every one of us, either if we're on a weight loss journey or just want to reduce inflammation, what is one way to start effectively
doing it?
Because sometimes it's just doing it.
Yeah, don't do it alone.
Oh.
Don't do it alone. You do it alone and you're going to be good for maybe about a week or two. And then after that, you're like, this is pointless, especially if other people in your house are not doing it.
Yes.
Right? Because then they're going to bring in all the stuff
all
that
the
you
stuff
love.
From the inside out, right? Inside out of the grocery store.
Yes. But if you can do it with your family, that's where I've seen the most progress when they can do it with their family. They take a day out of the week, maybe about 2 hours out of that day. Everybody meal preps together, and meal prep doesn't have to be hard. Like you can get the kids, just chop something up. Right, you can get one person there on the grill or whatever, cooking the meat, and the other person. So boom, it's all done, right? But if you don't have that type of a support, find groups that will give you that type of support. I know that's what we're fostering at Clean Good Eats, where we have a membership. And there, with this membership, we have a community of people that are encouraging each other, which makes it much easier to stay on track.
I love that. And that is in Radcliff. What is the address to your?
1483 North Dixie Boulevard in Radcliff. We're about a mile or two up from Fort Knox.
That's wonderful. I know the clinic, we always enjoy going to your
Thank you. We love having y'all there.
We love it. Every 3 months, I bring patients to her establishment, and about 15 patients, we just cook from just just start from scratch. Love it. And she does all this great explanation of why certain foods are the color they are, or the purpose of them, and the anti-inflammatory responsibilities each food group has. So I would definitely recommend 100% Clean Good Eats. You also have an herbal tea.
Yes, we love the herbal tea bar. It's funny because most people that come in there, I don't drink tea. Okay, why are you here? Right? But by the time they have left, they're like, oh my goodness, I like this tea. I want to try this tea next time I come back in.
Yes.
So yeah, the herbal tea bar. But I always tell people they're herbs, right? They're not candy.
Yes.
They're herbs. So, depending on, for example, I have people who just love hibiscus.
Yeah.
But I don't sell them hibiscus because they have high blood pressure, right? So if you have high blood pressure, hibiscus might not be the one that you want to have on a regular basis. And these are things that people need to know. And so we have classes regularly teaching people about the different herbs.
I love this. And this is why I love your establishment. I love everything about your knowledge base, because it's an experience. It's not only teaching people how to eat well and learn about food. And it's funny because we've eaten all of our lives. But it doesn't, you would think we know.
For better or worse, we've eaten all our lives,
But, just that knowledge base that a lot of us just don't have with food.
Right.
The experience is amazing. And so I really enjoyed this podcast. I'm going to take some things home with me, some knowledge base, because I need to drink more water. I know for sure.
Look, me too. Me too.
I need to drink more water. I need to drink. And I know people carry these big Stanleys, and that's okay, right?
Yeah,
that's better than
that's fine.
water,
if you're lifting weights and drinking water at the same time.
They're kind of heavy.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank
so
you for
proud of
having
you.
me.
Really appreciate everything you've done in the community.
Well, same here.
Try to keep, just E-Town healthier.
Yes, all of Hardin County. Louisville too.
Hardin County, Louisville,
yeah, y'all come on.
Bardstown.
Yeah, y'all come on. Yeah.
Thank you, and we appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.